What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Draft Hub. Today, we're going to be going through my picks for week 16 of the 2025 NFL season. As you see here, we are sitting at a record of 144 and 79 through 15 weeks. And I got to be honest with you guys, I started off this season really hot. In the last like 5 weeks, I just haven't really been doing very well. I don't think I've put in a week over 10 wins in quite a while. The parity in the NFL this year is just super weird for this point, but it makes for good football and it makes for good TV. So, yeah, we're going to run through the full slate of games. As you see here, there are 16 games, no more bye weeks, of course. And now this is my favorite time of the NFL season where we have games literally on 4 different days. So we have Thursday night games, we have the Saturday night games now, and then we have Sunday, and then we have Monday as well. So I always wish if college football wasn't so dominant in the ratings, I'm sure the NFL would put a couple games every single week on Saturday. That would be really cool. But I like that they do it at the end of the year. It's pretty cool. I like. But before we get into this video, if you guys are new here, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We're rolling right along with a bunch of different content here. I mean, I have been hitting a creative stride if you guys have been fans of the channel. NFL picks, we did bowl game predictions, we did college football predictions, NFL draft prospect profiles, NFL mock drafts, college football transfer portal news. We've been doing it all, and it's been going amazing lately, and I can't thank you guys enough. So if you are new here, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any of that great content. Let's start with the Thursday night game here between the Rams and the Seahawks, and this is probably on paper the best Thursday night football game that we are going to get and have gotten up until this point. We have the 11-3 Seahawks hosting the 11-3 LA Rams. Now this is a big one. This is in Seattle. So I think that has a lot to factor in. If you notice that the Seattle Seahawks defense is good, the Seahawks defense is really good, but the Seahawks, in my opinion, play way better at home defensively, at the very least, defensively than they do on the road. And I think that's massive for this team against the Rams defense. But at the end of the day, man, this Rams team I feel like they just can score at will. I feel like especially a big part of the offense lately for me that has been like an unsung hero has been Blake Corum. I feel like the Rams being able to unlock Blake Corum and having a 1-2 rushing attack of Kyren Williams and Blake Corum has been unbelievable. Matthew Stafford obviously is having an MVP-like season. 37, I think it's 37 touchdowns, or 36 or 37 passing touchdowns, only 5 interceptions up until this point. He's been unbelievable so far this year. This is a super tough one, to be honest with you. And the Rams traveling to Seattle, we saw them get burned, earlier in the year in a divisional game on a Thursday night as well. That was actually at home against the San Francisco 49ers. I feel like the Seahawks defense is going to play very well. I feel like the offense for the Seahawks is kind of going to lack a little bit. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a defensive battle than we think it's going to be. But to be honest with you, I think the secondary of the Seahawks is going to have a very, very difficult time stopping JSN. I think we're going to see a classic Sam Darnold performance here. I think the Seahawks upset the Rams for the very least in this one. So in a betting standpoint, it's even. But I think even at home, I think the Rams losing to the Seahawks would be a little bit of an upset. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks here, actually. I think this might be the first time all year that I've gone against the Rams. But moving on, then you have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington Commanders. And, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. The Eagles, got off the schneid last week. 3 straight losses, and then they play the Las Vegas Raiders at home. That was the, greatest streak breaker or slump buster, if you will, for the Philadelphia Eagles. A 31-0 victory. The defense looked amazing. The offense looked great. As everyone probably knows at this point, Dan Quinn and the Washington Commanders have shut down Jaden Daniels for the rest of the year. So we're going to go with Marcus Mariota. And I'll be honest with you guys, I think Mariota has done a really admirable job at the quarterback position for the Washington Commanders. I'll be honest with you, if I was a team that needed a bridge quarterback to start for a year, I would have no problem going out and getting Marcus Mariota. I think that he takes care of the football. He doesn't really turn the ball over that much. I feel like he knows when to scramble. He can make plays with his legs. I feel like at this point, he's still kind of like a starter at the NFL level. Call me crazy, but this Commanders team hosting the Eagles this week. I mean, I really don't think the Eagles are going to have any problem here. It looks like defensively, they got back to their best. Offensively, they looked pretty good as well against the Las Vegas Raiders. Didn't really need to do a whole lot, but they got Dallas Goedert more involved again. That's really when the Eagles were playing their best football at the beginning of the year, when Dallas Goedert was heavily involved in the offense. So as long as they can get back to that, maybe get that ground game going before the playoffs, I think they'll be just fine. So I'm going to take the Eagles here in this one. The Packers burned me last week. I picked them against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are absolutely rolling this season, 11 straight wins. But the Packers, put up a good fight for the most part against the Denver Broncos away from home, excuse me. Now they travel to Chicago here in this one. And, the Chicago Bears were getting, I think they were losing like 21 to nothing or like 17 to nothing, something like that a couple weeks ago against the Packers. And they came all the way back. And this Bears team is super resilient, man. I don't know what it is about this team, but yeah, that they seem like a team that just know how to win at this point. I mean, Ben Johnson has this Bears team playing some inspiring football for the most part. The Bears, maybe they don't have the prettiest stat lines every single week. Caleb Williams isn't throwing for 300 plus yards and 4 touchdowns every single week. DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai aren't running for 150, 175 plus yards, but man, they play decent enough defense. They turn the ball over a ton on the defensive side. This Bears team is pretty legit at this point. I think it's fair to say that this Bears team is legit. I think they're going to beat the Green Bay Packers. The Packers have just been such a weird team this year for me. They have barely scraped by some victories. They lost to the Browns. They've lost to the Panthers. I mean, this is a really weird team. They're super inconsistent. I think at the very least, the Bears have showed us that they could be very consistent this year outside of the first couple weeks of the season. Give me the Chicago Bears at home over the Green Bay Packers for the clear-cut division lead. Well, I mean, at least to extend their division lead. Then you have the Bills traveling to Cleveland here, and I think it's safe to say that the Buffalo Bills have found their stride again. Josh Allen has found his stride again. He looked incredible this past week against the New England Patriots in an insane comeback victory. The Patriots were winning 24 to nothing at one point, an insane comeback victory, or 21 nothing, whatever it was, for the Buffalo Bills away from home as well. Josh Allen playing MVP football again. The Cleveland Browns, after showing some, strides going forward, Shedeur Sanders kind of reverted back against a very tough Chicago defense last week in Chicago in a very, very cold situation. So I will give Shedeur Sanders the slight benefit of the doubt because of, I know that conditions aren't always going to be perfect, but at the same time, that was kind of a rough one. I'll be honest with you. Those were not ideal conditions. It's very tough to succeed in those conditions against that team away from home. So I'll give him the slight benefit of the doubt. His deep ball looked pretty good. He completed a couple really nice long passes to Isaiah Bond. So the arm strength and the accuracy is definitely there, at least on the long ball. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills in this one. Pretty straightforward there. The Chargers and the Cowboys here. And I'll be honest with you, man, the Cowboys have really let me down. After beating teams that they probably shouldn't have, you beat the Eagles and then you beat the Chiefs back-to-back weeks, and the playoff, you're cooking. You have a chance to make the playoffs at that point. And then, they a couple losses straight, not really great. I mean, the loss to the Minnesota Vikings really was the nail in the coffin for me. I think the Chargers at 10-4, they're still slugging it out in this very, very deep AFC against this very porous Cowboys defense. I don't really think that they're going to have any problems regardless of being away from home. I think they'll play defense just good enough to beat the Cowboys here. Give me the Chargers in this one. I don't even know how they are underdogs, to be quite honest with you, because the Cowboys are a team that just let J.J. McCarthy come in and throw for a career high number of yards and 3 touchdowns. So what can Justin Herbert do if J.J. McCarthy was able to do that as well, while not really targeting Justin Jefferson that much? So, I mean, the Cowboys team, as much as I like to see them succeed, they've been very, very inconsistent this year, and it's kind of unfortunate at this point. Then you have the Chiefs, unfortunate scenario here. Listen, I've seen a lot of bad things on Twitter and Instagram saying, oh my God, we've been preying on Patrick Mahomes' downfall. Man, that's crazy. I'm a Jet fan, and I watched Tom Brady dominate my team since I was in diapers, and I never wished any harm upon Tom Brady. I mean, if you're a football fan and you liked seeing Patrick Mahomes tear his ACL, I don't really know. You got some weird demons going on and weird skeletons in your closet, but the game's definitely going to be super different with him out. The Chiefs, this is also unfamiliar territory in the Patrick Mahomes era. The Chiefs have been eliminated from playoff contention at 6-8. The Titans have been playing some really, really good football the last few weeks. The Chiefs can't rely on the run game. They're going to rely on Gardner Minshew. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Titans in this one, man. I'd really think that Cam Ward the last 3-4 weeks has really been looking like a number one pick, despite not really having too much to offer in terms of like on the offensive side to help him. I feel like the Titans have, you know, the Titans have been playing good football over the past month or so. I think that this is a game that you could definitely kind of sneak by. And I know on paper, to the casual fan, you'll be like, oh, wow, the Titans beat the Chiefs. That's kind of crazy. But like, if you know how game script has gone the last like month or so of the season, it's really not that big of an upset, to be honest with you. But yeah, the Titans at home, a L'Jarius Sneed revenge game potentially. I'm going to take the Titans here in this one. Jets traveling to the Saints. I'll be bluntly honest with you guys. I mean, as I said, I'm a Jets fan. This is the poorest Jets team I've ever seen. If it was up to me, I'd personally fire Aaron Glenn. Uh, I don't think that anyone has gotten better under his tutelage at this point. He carries a crazy ego for a coach that's 3-11 in his first year, and everyone's going to say, "Oh, well, Dan Campbell was, whatever he was. He started off his coaching career 0-11-1." Yes, but you have to understand that Dan Campbell already had Jared Goff and a lot of the foundational pieces in place in the Detroit Lions organization at that point. The Jets have nothing at this point. They have nothing. I don't know where these. Listen, I want to see Aaron Glenn succeed. I want to see the Jets succeed. Obviously, I'm a diehard fan. But the fact of the matter is, I don't really know if they have the right guy in the building. Good thing it's not up to me because everyone would probably be fired at this point. Maybe besides for Darren Moogie, because he actually did make some good draft picks and he made some really, really savvy trades as well. But the fact of the matter is, I just don't think anyone has gotten better. They just fired Steve Wilkes. Whoop-de-doo. That's, 15 weeks too late, in my opinion. The Saints have been playing good ball. The Saints are basically playing their way out of a top 5 pick, and I don't really – if I was a Saints fan, I wouldn't care because Tyler Shuck looks like the future. He's played excellent over the past month of the season, and to me, after a rocky first start for the against the LA Rams, he's kind of found his groove. And you have a young core of players here on the offensive side. And on the defensive side, too, Kool-Aid McKinstry has been playing really good ball. Jonas Senker has been playing good ball. You have the pieces in place on both sides of the ball long term. I like the Saints here in this one. I think they continue to roll and they continue to win. And I think that they beat the Jets here pretty soundly at home. Vikings traveling to the New York Giants here in this one. And the Vikings are on a little bit of a roll here. This would be a nice little way, even though the Vikings are basically eliminated from playoff contention at this point. I mean, they're not, but they kind of are. Like, even if they win the last 3 games of the season, I doubt that they make the playoffs. The Giants at this point, I mean, after losing to the Commanders at home, I mean, they really just can't get out of their own way for the most part. Jackson Dart actually is, I mean, he's the embodiment of this Giants team. I mean, he's been unreal this season. Yeah, he's turned the ball over a lot. He's got like his 17th concussion of the season. But man, you can't argue that guy doesn't play with heart and soul, man. I mean, the guy going forward, as long as he could stay healthy and learn how to slide, I think the Giants have a real winner there in Jackson Dart. And to JJ McCarthy's credit, he's coming off of back-to-back 3-touchdown performances. He's getting hot. He's also going to play another porous defense here this week. So if these are the games that JJ McCarthy needed to get his confidence and to get right, because he played the Commanders 2 weeks ago, bad defense. He played the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, bad defense. He's going to play the New York Giants, bad defense. If these are the back-to-back-to-back, games that he needed to get his confidence, man, that's a perfect time at the end of the season and something to really look forward to. So if he could put together another 250-plus yard performance and throw for, 3 touchdowns again, I think we're looking much, much better going into next season. Give me the Vikings over the Giants here in this one. Buccaneers and Panthers. And the Bucs have been on just an absolute landslide the last few. I mean, the way that they lost to the Falcons is just completely disgusting, in my opinion. I mean, I would feel gross if I was a Buccaneers fan. But I always feel gross anyway because I'm a Jets fan, so it doesn't even matter. The Panthers are on a little bit of a how you doing? But they just lost. They got swept by the New Orleans Saints. So think about if they could have won one of those games, they would have been 8-6 and in full control of the NFC South. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Baker Mayfield is hurt. I think that left AC joint injury has kind of really hampered his play. He hasn't really looked the same, and the team around him has gotten healthier. So I don't really know what's going on with the offense of the Buccaneers and the defense for the fact for that matter too. But I do think the Buccaneers roll into Carolina and they get right. I mean, we've seen the Carolina Panthers win these games time and time again this season. But there's just something about me that thinks that the 7-7 Buccaneers are leaps and bounds better than the 7-7 Carolina Panthers. And I'm going to stick to that notion here in this one. I'm going to take the Buccaneers over the Panthers. I could very well be wrong, and that's fine because the Panthers have just been proving me wrong all season. But I think it's about time that, Baker Mayfield and co sack up and they actually, win a winnable football game here and a divisional game. Time to start putting this division away at this point. Dolphins and the Bengals here. I mean, what do you say about that Joe Burrow performance? I mean, probably the worst performance of his career. And he's had a couple of 5 interception games. That was a terrible performance. I don't know what's going on with Joe Burrow. I don't know what's going on with Joe Burrow long term in Cincinnati, but there's going to be some questions that have to be answered in the offseason. That's for sure. We'll leave it at that. The Dolphins coming off of, I mean, they weren't going to make the playoffs, but it seemed like even if they won against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'd say, wow, they actually have a legitimate shot because they would be 7-7 and kind of in control of their own destiny. But I don't know. This Dolphins team is just super weird. I don't really think I really don't have anything to say about this Dolphins team that I haven't said already. The Bengals rolling into town. I'm so inclined to take the Cincinnati Bengals here. I mean, the Miami Dolphins here in this one, but I can't help but just think that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, if he does play, are just going to go absolutely crazy on this Dolphins defense that actually has been playing better as of late. But I don't know. I'm an unapologetic believer in Joe Burrow, so I'm thinking against a less than stellar Dolphins defense, he is going to bounce back and put in a good performance. I mean, the Bengals are out of playoff contention, so it really doesn't matter at this point. But yeah, two non-bound playoff teams here. Give me the Bengals in this one over the Dolphins, even though I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins won. Jaguars and Bengals here, and potentially two of the biggest frauds in the playoff picture at this point, with the Broncos sitting at 12-2 against the 10-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. And I keep saying it, the Denver Broncos are going to have to lose at some point. They've won 11 straight games. But at home against a Green Bay Packers team, that was an impressive victory. Bo Nix kind of silenced the haters against I'd say probably a top 6 or 7 defense in Green Bay. He threw for 300 plus yards, 4 touchdowns. He looked excellent. This Jaguars team, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is coming off of a career day, 300 plus passing yards, 6 total touchdowns. But listen, who are we kidding? They played the Jets. Let's not get hasty here. You're going from playing the Jets to the Broncos away from home. That's kind of a crazy difference here. Give me the Broncos in this one. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to come crashing back down to earth. I think Bo Nix has the hot hand. He's going to continue to roll these good performances around. And as much as I keep saying that the Broncos are going to have to lose eventually, I don't think that this is the game that they lose. So give me the Denver Broncos here over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, this is just a gross game here. You got the Atlanta Falcons at 5-9, who aren't out of the division contention, by the way. And I forgot to mention that about the New Orleans Saints. They are not out of division contention either at this point. So there would have to be some crazy scenarios that go on. Like, I think actually they might actually be eliminated from division contention. The Saints. The Falcons might not be actually, but you have the Arizona Cardinals against the Falcons, and if Drake London plays, I think this is going to be a shootout because both teams' defenses are dog shit. So I think this is going to be a shootout. The Falcons are the team that I have gotten wrong probably every single week this year. There's always one. A couple years ago, it was the Saints. Last year, it was the Jets. This year, it's the Falcons. There's always one team that I could just never crack the code for. But I'm going to go with the Falcons here in this one. I mean, especially if Drake London plays, this Arizona Cardinals defense has been absolutely putrid this year. And, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Drake London, Kyle Pitts is having a great season. I'm kind of inclined to take the Falcons here in this one. They've been kind of sort of riding the hot hand ever since that loss to the Jets. They've actually been playing much better. Then you have the Steelers traveling to the Detroit Lions here in this one. And I do think the Lions get back on track. It's been a little bit of a wishy-washy season for them. I think that they're out of the playoff race at this point right now. I shouldn't say the playoff race. They would be out of contention if the season ended right now. So it's a little bit of adversity for the Lions this year, but they are home. They are playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the pass rush is going to get to Aaron Rodgers. And really, if the pass rush gets to Aaron Rodgers, you know that this offense is basically cooked. Yeah, give me the Detroit Lions here in this one at home. I fully expect, since Jahmyr Gibbs had a terrible game, I only expect him to run for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in this one. So that's just how it works. Texans and Raiders. I don't even have to go through this one. Give me the Texans over the Raiders. I mean, come on. What can we say about the Raiders that already hasn't been said? I mean, really the worst team in football, and that's coming from a Jet fan. And I'm not even. I mean, if the Raiders and the Jets played each other, there's a good chance that the Raiders actually beat the Jets. But I'm pretty confident in saying that the Raiders are the worst team in football this year, and the Texans are on a wow. Is that minus 1,450? That's crazy. That's really actually insane. But yeah, give me the Texans in this one. I really don't think that there's any shot. The Texans are riding such a hot hand right now. CJ Stroud's coming off of a really, really strong performance. The defense has been unreal so far this year. D'Amico Ryans has to take a bow. They've been unbelievable so far this year. Patriots and Ravens here. Oof, tough one. Give me the Patriots. The Ravens have given me no indication, except for last week where they beat the Bengals. But really, what is that saying? The defense definitely showed up. They blanked the Cincinnati Bengals last week. That's something to lo and behold, I will say, especially since the Ravens defense has been underperforming all year. But maybe they're getting hot at the right time. But the Patriots are coming into town, and the Patriots are getting into that realm of a team where I don't necessarily think that playing away from home affects them that much. Drake May is looking like an MVP candidate. The defense has been playing pretty good. They get good pressure. The run defense is super solid. And I think as long as they can hold Derrick Henry to under 100 rushing yards, I think that they're going to be all right. Give me the Patriots here in this one. And then for the final game here, I think Phillip Rivers coming in and actually making it close with the Seattle Seahawks away from home in his first game in 5 years as a fat 44-year-old grandfather. I mean, that's a feat all in its own, to lose by 2 points they lost to, and they were winning for most of the game. I think it's going to be a little worse for him this week against the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are coming into town, so Phillip Rivers gets another full week with the playbook, practicing, maybe getting in a little bit of better shape. I don't know how much better shape you can get into with 1 week, but who knows? Better than not. But the 49ers are rolling. Brock Purdy is playing some good football. Christian McCaffrey hopefully is getting healthier as well. I think the 49ers kind of roll into town and they put Grandpa Phil on his ass. But I don't want to see that. I kind of want to see Phillip Rivers light up the San Francisco 49ers. I just don't think it's going to happen. But I would love to see it. But give me the San Francisco 49ers here to round out our picks for Week 16. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There are my picks for Week 16 of the NFL season. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I see you in the next one.